In this video, I'm going to be giving you my 10 pieces of advice for young Christian men who are single, dating, engaged, and considering marriage. All right. So I've been married for a little under 2 years. And so I'm fresh out of that dating, engaged season to be able to speak to the things I wish we had done to set ourselves up better for marriage. Do I regret where we are at? Of course not. Could we have done things different? Could I have been a better man in that season? Absolutely. So I'm going to be walking through 10 pieces of advice for my guys who are single, dating, engaged, and looking to get married. So if you consider yourself a believer, then you want to stick around for these 10 pieces of advice. Let's kick off. Number one is you must be equally yoked. Now, a lot of people get this wrong, so hear me on what that means. This does not mean look at your prideful passions and compare her to those. If you are an entrepreneur, does your wife have to be an entrepreneur? No. No, she doesn't have to be an entrepreneur just because you are, and that's what you take pride in. So she's got to be equally yoked, building a business or working all the time. No, 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 no. First and foremost, we're looking at, is she pursuing after Jesus with the same tenacity that I am? Or maybe even more than me. If so, I better get my butt in gear and get equally yoked. That is first and foremost. Is she challenging you to grow in foundational areas of life? Equally yoked, okay? If you're running ultra marathons and she's not an ultra marathon runner, that's fine. That doesn't mean she's unequally yoked, right? If you want someone who trains like that, then great. That's fine. That's personal preference, but that does not mean she's not equally yoked, right? She can carry her weight, pull her own weight in her own ways. And the reason I say pull her own weight is because when we talk about the yoke in biblical times, we're talking about an apparatus, a yoke that held two oxen together. And the oxen were strapped to this yoke, which was hooked to a plow, and they would plow the field together. So you want a woman who is plowing the field alongside of you, carrying her own weight. Does that mean she's in the same role as you, performing the same actions as you? Not necessarily, right? It can look different, but is she pulling her own weight in her own ways, equally yoked? That's first and foremost. Number two, Christ is the foundation of everything. Develop this habit in your relationship, dating, engaged, whatever, where you turn to Christ. Come with a hard situation, turn to Scripture. Come with a hard situation, turn to prayer. We're viewing Christ as the foundation. He is first, He is last, and He is everything in between. You go to Christ first. He must be the foundation in which you build any relationship on, especially the one that you're considering in marriage. Build that relationship on Christ as the foundation. Number three, I think this one is really important. Girlfriend slash fiance, if you're in the dating or engaged season, does not equal your wife. I think a lot of young Christians come with a good heart posture by trying to take responsibility early as if you're married, but you're not married, right? You can prepare for marriage, but you should not today operate and make decisions as if you are married in any capacity. You're not married yet. You don't have kids yet. So don't make decisions based on, well, if that were true, you should make this decision today. Well, it's not true. So we have to make decisions based on today's circumstances. Am I saying don't prepare? No, but I'm saying do not take responsibility for man or woman in a way that husband and wife do, because you're not husband and wife yet. Don't jump the gun on that. You're just dating. Girlfriend does not equal wife. And so within that, your input in her life on what she should be doing is merely a suggestion. It's not a dictatorship. It's not any sort of leadership or anything like that. You're suggesting things to her in her life. Hey, you need to cut that friend off. Great, that's a suggestion. And it should not be framed any other way than a suggestion. You can sit down and have a deeper conversation, but you are not her husband. You're not her leader yet. So you do not have any sort of influence above suggestion that she gets to make her own decision. Once you get married, that conversation will and should look different. But today, it does not. You're just dating. It does not equal marriage, okay? Number four, abstain from sex premaritally. This one is vital. The Bible is very clear on this. I mean, even if the Bible wasn't clear on this and we just asked you, where logically would you put the permission to have sex in a relationship? I think we all would put it beyond the bounds of marriage. Because are you just going to sleep with a stranger? No, we wouldn't agree that that is healthy for any individual. So where would we put it? Dating? Well, dating is not committed, so it's basically sleeping with a stranger. The commitment for life is marriage. That's where sex should be as well. And so this one is so vital because when you're developing your relationship, sex, if you start having it premaritally, it'll put band-aids over bullet holes. It will muddy the waters when you're trying to gain clarity on if this person is equally yoked, on if this person is the one, right? You will start to overlook things due to the intimacy of sex. And you do not want to overlook these things. You want to build a foundation for your relationship, and then you want to go into marriage and add sex on top of that firm foundation that you've already established in the dating and engaged season. Trust me, do not have premarital sex. You will set yourself up for success. Me and my wife, we abstained before marriage, and we are so glad that we did. Once you do it, you'll be like, yep, it makes 100% sense. It sets you up for the best possible marriage you can have. Now, going into number 5, you must learn to communicate. Communication is the lifeblood in a marriage. So early on, establish healthy communication habits. What does that look like? Well, routine check-ins where you are distraction-free and you're having a weekly date night. Let's call it me and my wife. We have a weekly date night, and we're ridding that date night of distraction. No phone, nobody else, no TV or anything like that. We're sitting and we're having communication around important topics. For us, now that we're married, it's a lot about the future. We have a son due here in just a few weeks. It's a lot about how he's going to come into this world, how we're going to raise him, things like that, right? When you're dating, you can be having important conversations, which is actually number 6, which we'll talk about what those conversations should be. But you're creating space to communicate with each other, hear each other out. You're not just reacting after you've let something build up. No, you're consistently creating space to communicate. You're setting healthy communication pathways within your relationship. This is so important. Now, what should you be talking about before marriage? What is important? Well, of course, we already understand that we have this foundation of faith. So we should be talking about our walk with the Lord. What does that look like in the past? How have we grown? What are we working through right now? What is God showing us, teaching us, etc., right? And then next, what is our vision for life? What do we want out of life? How many kids, right? Do you want 12 kids? Do you want 2 kids? Do you want no kids? Why? These things are important to talk about. Where do you want to live? Do you want to be next to family? Are you just living in this place temporarily, right? Where do you vision yourself living long term? Where do you vision yourself raising kids? Is that next to your family, wherever they're at? Is that on the beach? Is that in the mountain? Where is that at? Do you want to travel abroad for a few years after marriage? Like, what is your vision? What do you want out of life? These things are important to talk about, right? And then how to love each other the best. So, right, we're not getting confused with girlfriend equaling wife, but we can begin to understand and through conversation, hey, how do I show you love best? How do you feel seen? How do you feel heard? How do you feel loved? And vice versa, right? You can talk through those different things. What's gone wrong in the past, right? That can be valuable insight to set your relationship and eventually your marriage up for success. And then another thing that's important that's often overlooked is, what do you just care about in this life? Do you have certain family traditions? Hey, my family goes on this trip every year, and I care about this trip. I will not miss this trip. I just want to put that out there early, that these are the things I want to see habitually in my life, right? Let's talk about those things. Like, what things just matter? Like, hey, when we have kids one day, I want to spend Christmas here. That's important to me, right? Now, again, we're not mistaking girlfriend for wife. So a lot of these things, if you have conversations and there's disagreements, these aren't like things that it's like, oh, I'm not marrying this person because they want to spend Christmas in, Montana or whatever, right? It's not necessarily deal breakers, but it's important to just get these things out on the table so you can begin to project a life and support each other in building toward that marriage whenever you feel ready to step in to marriage, right? So you're just having conversations. What is your vision for life? What's important to you out of this life? How do you feel loved? How can I love you well? These are all important conversations to have. Number 7 might be my favorite one, and this is to set boundaries, right? You each as individuals need to set boundaries with people in your life. There's a saying that I don't like at all. It says that when you're marrying someone, you're not just marrying them, you're marrying their family. Great, but they didn't choose their family, right? There can be an amazing woman that comes from a family of drug addicts, right? We're not going to knock her based on the family that she did not choose and the decisions they made, right? So she could be an awesome person living for the Lord, doing things in an amazing way. And just because she has awful parents, you're not going to marry this woman? No. But she can't choose her family, but she can choose the boundaries that she sets with family and friends in her life. So you are going to have to set boundaries yourself with your family. She's going to have to set boundaries with her family and friends, right? Because when you step into marriage, now you take lead on her life, right? So if her parents are overbearing, you're her leader. So they don't have the influence they once had in her life, right? Two shall become one. They leave father and mother, as the Bible says, and two become one. So now you're the leader. So you need to be setting your boundaries. She needs to be setting her boundaries. You're not setting her boundaries for her. Why? Because you're not her husband yet. All right. So she's setting her own boundaries. And again, the advice that you give is merely a suggestion at this stage in your relationship. It is not the decision that's made for her, nor will it ever be in marriage. You're not making decisions for somebody, which I'll talk about that one in number 10. But the advice that you're giving is merely just a suggestion, but you want to see these boundaries take shape if they're not already in place. This is so vital that not only is she doing, but you're doing in your own life, right? Because we're talking about equally yoked. So everything you're wanting her to do, you better be doing tenfold, right? So you want to set boundaries. Beyond family, old friends. Maybe she had a life before she started following Christ, and now she still has some old friendships that linger around. You probably do too. So you need to encourage both of you guys in your walk to set boundaries. Hey, maybe we don't need to cut these people off entirely. Maybe we do. But if we don't need to cut them off entirely, what is the appropriate and healthy boundary? Let's have a conversation around that for both of our lives in the dating phase. And let's go set ourselves up for when we step into marriage. We've got good, healthy boundaries around ourselves as individuals. So that way, when we become one, we've got healthy boundaries around us as one in marriage now as well. That one is so important. Number 8, long-term dating / engagement is overrated. It is so overrated. If you're dating for like over a year, it's too long. It's just too long, right? You need to poop or get off the pot, as they would say. Like, either you've just been dating and you've been going through the motions and you've not been intentional, you've not been pursuing marriage, right? That needs to stop right now. You need to get intentional and you need to go have hard conversations and begin auditing. The purpose of dating is to marry. So if you're dating for any other reason without intention to marry, then it's just wrong. And if you're dating with the intention to marry, it will not take you years to figure out if she's the one or not. Either she's not. This one's so frustrating. I can't even put my words together, right? I'm very passionate about this one. Long-term dating is overrated, I'm telling you. So begin having the hard conversations, and you will know if she's the one or not. And if she's not, that's fine. Move on. Do her a favor, do yourself a favor, and go move on. Go start healing from that relationship and go start building towards the one that God has in store for you. Okay? We do not need to be in long-term dating relationships. I'm telling you guys, stop doing this. Whew. And then within that as well, I think that you can oftentimes get caught up in the weeds of a relationship, and that's maybe why it goes so long term, where it's emotional. Maybe you've been having sex and things have gotten clouded, so you don't have clarity. You've been going through the motions. Go to a trusted mentor, a believer, a mentor, a good set of friends and ask them to evaluate honestly your significant other and your relationship as a whole. Okay? And they're going to give you honest feedback. And you're going to know based on that honest feedback, is this person I want to pursue into marriage? If so, we're going to move that quickly. Or no. All my mentors and friends that I respect, they're saying she's not the one. Okay, great. Now I pulled myself out of the weeds. I got trusted advisors speaking into my life, and we're going to go make the decision we have to make. So I'd encourage you to do that. Number 9 is that when you're actually considering stepping into marriage, you may not feel ready, but deep down you will know. Okay? You may not feel ready. You may have some fear, some insecurity. You may throw out BS excuses like I did around finances or whatever else, right? As a man, we worry about finances a lot. You may throw out these excuses. Those are all just excuses out of fear and insecurity. Deep down, you will know the answer to the question, is this woman the one? Answer that question honestly. And you may not feel ready, and that's okay. It's about having faith, not feeling ready all the time. We're putting our trust in God, not ourselves or our own preparedness. We're not putting confidence in human effort, as Philippians would say. And so number 10, not to get this confused with what I said in number 3, that girlfriend and fiance do not equal wife. Okay, that's so important. But number 10 is lead. You set the direction, you set the tone, you set the intention for the conversations on date night. You set the intention for how we're setting boundaries. Now, hear me, leader is not dictator, and it's not going to be dictator when you get married, right? You are mutual in your respect for each other, and you're setting the standard. You're throwing out, hey, here's what we're going to talk about tonight. How do you approach money? How do you view money, right? Now we're having a conversation around finances. You don't wait for her to bring up a financial conversation, right? Or another valuable conversation. You set the tone in your leadership, okay? You have the hard conversations. You go first. You want her to audit her friend group? You audit yours. You want her to set boundaries with her family? You set boundaries first. This is the type of thing you must do. So I hope that these 10 pieces of advice provide value to you. If you want me to expand on any of them, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to make another video because I'm pretty sure I can make an entire video on each one of these. But yeah, I hope that these provide value. I'd love to get connected with you. So check out the links below to learn more about my nonprofits and learn more about me and just get connected overall. God bless.